Therefore, I give notice that Kemi Badenoch is elected as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
Kemi Badenoch.
Kemi Badenoch.
Kemi Badenoch.
This decision is completely wrong.
She hasn't quite done her homework because
So 52% of me finds her absolutely hilarious. And every time you think she can't get any funnier, she gets funnier.
She really hasn't done the preparatory work for occupying a high position in office.
All right. Ladies and gents, welcome back, guys, to Aid Thompson and other disappointments. Your twice weekly delve into news, current affairs, politics, dystopia, awfulness, and shit. Hope you are all doing well. Hope that your weeks are going good. Hope you're, you're surviving. That's what you're doing. Hope you're surviving, if not thriving. I hope you're thriving, guys. Join me for the next hour as we once again try to make sense of the senseless and, reckon with the recklessness that is modern life here in this formerly Great Britain. Hope you're all doing just peachy. How has your week's been, people? Let me know in the comments. How have you been keeping? Here's my news this week. It's half term, obviously, which is it's great fun. Half term. It's great. It's great fun if you're a kid, I think. If you're a kid, it's a good time. It's a good break, isn't it? If you're a parent, it's a little bit different. Self-evidently, I think. If you're a parent, it becomes a little bit less a break from the hard work and more a doubling of the hard work. It becomes, what is it? It's like day job, like stuff in the day, and then house stuff, taking care of all of your chores, feeding the kids, and then on top of that, and entertaining the kids all week. So that's, that's great fun. It's been a good time, guys. Lots of broken bowls, broken plates, smashed glasses, plasters, a couple of fights, tantrums. It's been precious memories all week. So far as well, we're not even midweek yet. So I can't wait to get stuck in the next half of this week. I mean, sometimes I think how paradoxical parenthood is, Because on the one hand, I'm very happy, I'm very content. I know sometimes I moan, I complain about this stuff, lack of childcare, the expense of everything. But broadly, I am, I'm a happy guy, very content with my lot, if you like. I can't speak for all men out there. I suspect it would be actually the minority who feel like me. But from my personal experience, I did always want a family. I love my other half. I love our children more than anything. And I absolutely would die for them. I would. So on the one hand, I'm very content. I'm very happy. And yet, at the same time, I do sit there and I ask myself sometimes, am I actually legitimately happy at this precise moment? And the answer is always, invariably, no. No, I'm not. I'm actually not very happy at all right in this moment. I'm usually stressed. I'm usually worried about the future. I'm yearning for a break. I'm ready to throw my kids through the fucking patio door, wondering, like many fathers do, if I fucking died tomorrow, would my son even care? Would he care that much? How much would he care? You know, I mean, my daughter would. My daughter would definitely. She would be devastated. But, you know, she's devastated when she drops a fucking carrot on the floor. So what does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know. But my son, you know, my son is like 8, right? 8 years old. He's 4 years older than his sister. He's a little bit more clued up. You know, he's a little bit more switched on. And honestly, I feel like sometimes if I fucking died... Actually, the carrot thing actually kind of holds up. You know, because he's 8. He drops a carrot. He's like, eh. Because, like, I don't know if you guys have, you know, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, like, I don't know if you guys have kids, what percentage of you have children or not. But if you do, then you might empathize with my situation. You know, like, if you spend time bollocking them or trying to warn them off things that are going to harm them or traumatize them, and you just do this like day in, day out. As soon as they get home, they start taking the piss. You start bollocking them again. You know, it gets to the point where I worry that my son only associates me, my face, my voice with restriction and telling him off and stopping the fun. You know, and like I tell people stuff like this and they go, oh, don't be ridiculous. You know, obviously, I'm sure your son loves you deep down. And I'm like, I don't... Tell you the truth, I'm not even sure he fucking likes me. Let's leave love over there for a second. Let's just focus on like for a minute. I'm not sure he even likes me. Like, I love having kids. I do. I love my life. I'm very happy with my life. Love my children, love my family, love my partner. And yet, driving around with them, screaming at each other in the back of the car when I'm on fucking 4 hours sleep and we're on our way for another disappointing day at fucking Legoland. I ask myself in the car, am I actually having a good time right now? Is this fun that we're having? Like, I asked my missus when we're in the car driving on the way back. I asked this stuff to her. I'm like, okay, look, I got 2 questions for you. And she's like, yeah, okay, shoot. And I say, are you happy generally? And then she's like, yeah, of course. Like, I love my life. Like, I love you and the kids. And then I'm like, okay, question 2. Are you happy, like, right now? Like, is this... Are you having fun right now? And she's like, oh fuck no. No, I've had more fun at the fucking gyno. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, what else is new? Should we talk about the news for a bit? We should probably talk about the news. It's supposed to be a sort of newsy show, isn't it? Knives are out for Kemi, guys. I don't know if you saw that. Knives are out for Kemi Badenoch, Conservative Party leader of the opposition, guys, who pipped Jenrick to the post because too many of James Cleverly's supporters loaned their votes to her, reportedly, allegedly, etc., etc. So then he got knocked out, and it ended up being her and Jenrick. Like, they all messed it up. Like, it should have been James Cleverly that was the leader of the Conservative Party in this period. They messed it up. If it weren't for the backroom deals and the favours, the promises, I'll make you Home Secretary if you back me. If it wasn't for all of that, you know, would have been James Cleverly that was the Tory leader throughout this period. You know, if there was any integrity in the Tory leadership process, it would have been the Rohypnol joke shithole constituency guy. We was robbed of old Jimmy Dimley, the guy who called the Rwanda scheme batshit, but then went on to take the job. Its chief thing was to try to deliver the thing that he previously called batshit. Which, look, I'm not judging, guys, dear listeners, dear viewers, not judging at all. You know, because like many men, I've had my own experiences where I label something as crazy and then ultimately end up pursuing it. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, right, yes, Kemi Badenoch. James cleverly getting ejected from the leadership, and so that's why we've ended up with Kemi, right? Who I think we can all agree has actually been a really impressive example of the Peter principle, hasn't she? I mean, she's been over promoted and over promoted again, and you know, she became. We've talked about her in this regard before. Like she only became high profile. People only really started to hear her name or become familiar with her. She only became high profile by saying stupid things that would get lefties like me clutching our pearls, basically. You know what we were like? She said what about maternity pay? She said that when she worked in McDonald's for a couple of shifts, she became working class. That's what is. She mad? She is. Oh, right. Okay. Well, maybe I'll take her out for a drink. Like, no. That's no. We won't go down that road. But yeah, Christ. So some of this stuff just sort of gets swept under the rug, or you know, disappears out into the ether, doesn't it? Because there's so much insanity going around now. But we mustn't forget these greatest hits of Kemi's. You know, I became working class after working a few shifts in McDonald's, she said, was quite a striking, quite an insulting thing to hear, I think, if you've grown up working class, if you've grown up on council estates. And so, I mean, I remember when I heard that. I became working class when I worked a couple of shifts in McDonald's. When I heard that, I was like, I mean, if they started looking for examples of what I guess you would call sort of reversed social mobility, inverted social mobility, moving from middle class to working class. I mean, there are honestly millions of us out here. Millions. Guys, take your pick, lads. When I worked in McDonald's, I became working class. Oh, okay. Everyone's like, yes, yeah, we're all going through something similar, actually. Kems, it's like 30-year-old men on 50k salaries that can just about afford their London rent and a trip to Lidl, who are going through a similar vibe, Kemi. It's like, when I voted Tory, I became working class. Anyway, so Badenoch became high profile off the back of a load of gaffes. That dismissal of maternity leave, loads of culture war stuff. And then she became Tory leader. And of late, she's had a couple of shockers, hasn't she? Kems. Which is... I mean, it must be a bit of a weird situation. Becoming known because of gaffes and stupidity. You know, and then once you're up there, the gaffes and the stupidity kind of become your Achilles heel. Like, that must be a little bit of a head fuck. You know, like it's the gaffes and stupidity that got you known and therefore catapulted you in to this high profile leadership position. And now you're actually the leader. Now suddenly everyone's got a problem with your gaffes and your stupidity. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand the problem here. Like, you knew I was stupid like 2 years ago. Like, what's changed? I've always been stupid. I mean, this is hardly a case of a missold product. So, there are whispers in the wind, apparently, suggesting that the Tories might change their leader again. But to be honest, you know, by this point, it's a little bit like who fucking cares? At this stage, who honestly cares? Who becomes the leader of the Conservative Party in 2025. Is anybody really listening to them? Are they politically relevant in any way at all now? You know, because their donors are drying up day by day. They're lagging behind Farage, behind Reform. They're 4.5 years from an election still at this stage. Like, does anybody really care who is leading the Tories anymore? Like, are they in any way like, it's like finding out S Club 7 are doing a tour, like a club tour of the UK. Oh, you're never going to guess who the lead singer is for this reuniting club tour. I don't care. I'm not even close to caring. You're never going to guess who the lead singer is. It the dead one? If it's the dead one, I'm interested. But otherwise, I'd rather be in fucking Legoland. Like, if you look at the political conversation in Britain right now, it is being dominated by two people. It is two people who are setting the agenda, who are dominating the political conversation. And those two people are Nigel Farage and Donald Trump. Okay? Trump, because whatever insanity he gets up to, and it is just on an hourly basis at the moment, in terms of his new policy ideas, threatening phone calls he's made to Greenland, whatever Elon Musk is up to. You get the idea, right? Whatever insanity he gets up to, Starmer then has to react to or deny or launch a tacit defense of it, you know? So it's Donald Trump and then it's Nigel Farage, isn't it? Whose party is on GB News and LBC and on the front page of all of the papers all the time. And poll-wise, they are overtaking both the Conservatives and Labour. So it's like with Kemi Badenoch, it's like I almost feel sorry for her. You know? Like just imagine for a moment, guys. Imagine being a woman of colour, a software engineer, which is, you know, usually quite a left-leaning profession, I feel. A woman of colour, a software engineer who goes Tory, young for a Tory. She goes Tory and she probably gets a fair share of abuse for it, right? I mean, how many times do we think she's heard stuff like, you fucking Uncle Tom coconut bitch, right? Like, I'm positive that she has heard all of that stuff before for not conforming, for being like, oh, you're black and conservative? What? You know, I'm sure there's been a whole load of that. But you keep your head down, Kemi. You just keep your head down, safe in the knowledge that you'll show them. You will show them. So you will, when you end up in a cabinet role, or maybe even Tory leader one day. And this is where the joke is on them, because ironically, weirdly, paradoxically, you end up becoming even more of an asset to the Conservative Party because of your heritage. You know, I imagine her thinking that to herself. You know, just keep your head down, Kemi. It'll all be worth it. Just keep your head down, say a few stupid, hugely ignorant things. Get yourself in the papers and let the 1922 committee just confuse that for high profile and a young conservative go-getter. And then finally, when she does finally get it, she finally becomes Conservative Party leader, then it's like, right at the worst moment. It's like quitting your job in the factory so you can go on tour with your new band that you've just joined. But the new band is fucking Leonard Skinnered or some shit. It's like finding out that you had a long lost uncle, far removed. You know, but a lawyer, a solicitor gets in touch with you about the estate, and you start telling you, oh, well, this is where my ship comes in. I mean, this could really change things. I wonder if I'll inherit a house. I wonder if I'll inherit some of his estate and it's enough to just set me up and I could just retire. I wonder if that's what is coming to me. Like, finally, this is where it all turns round for me with this phone call from the estate's solicitor, from this passed away, long lost uncle that I was never really aware of. Only for the lawyer to be like, actually, he was hugely reckless with his finances, and but thanks to the red tape slashing bonanza of the financial services sector, you were named his next of kin, so you're now proxy liable for all those financial liabilities. Sign here, your life's over. You're like, oh man, just when I thought it's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. Oh, actually, whilst we're, vaguely on the subject of music there, whipping out some Alanis Morissette, I should probably tell you about my friend Sean's music survey. I promised him that I would I'd try and get the word out. So this is his website. It is a 15-minute survey, which, look, it's hard enough to get some of you to click out of like one app and go into another one, let alone to spend 15 minutes on a website doing something. But I promise you, like, as one music lover to hopefully another, because a lot of my followers, a lot of people jump in the comments, a lot of the Patreons, the channel members, you guys are quite obviously music lovers too. And we all know that the music industry has gone through a bit of a hard time of late, and Sean is well placed to try to at least form some sort of solution to make things a bit better. And what he wants to do, basically, he wants to get everybody's thoughts and feelings about everything connected to the music industry, from the kind of food that you like in the venue to ticket prices, what kinds of music you're into. And he's not like a novice. Like, he's been running the widely respected music blog, music website, Drowned in Sound, for decades. And he's been supported by people like Hayley Williams from Paramore, and he's managing Charlotte Church. He was managing, I think, the Anchoress as well. We saw her at the Mannix set, Glastonbury, a couple of years ago. So he knows his stuff. He's like knee deep in the game for years, right? And basically what he's trying to solve is how you make the music industry sustainable in a sort of like post-Napster, post-Spotify world. And one of the ideas that they came up with was a sort of like a big venue levy. So if somebody like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran go playing at the O2 and the tickets are like, 70 quid or 100 quid or like 150 quid or whatever, just a small addition of like £1 onto that ticket price. If everyone that went to go and see one of those big acts just paid a small, like the small venues levy, it might be enough to turn the ship around, to save some of these venues and allow a space for bands to share their material, to share their new stuff, right? So yeah, all I'm saying is, like, give it some time. If you have 15 minutes to spare, if you're bored like one afternoon, jump on the link. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's just going to ask you about your taste in music, your age, your demographic, all of that stuff, just so they can formulate a really clear picture of what people are into, what they would pay, what they wouldn't pay, what they expect in exchange for that. Like, any of you who've worked in IT, tech, marketing, whatever, right? You will know that data is king. And apparently a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, there was a sort of a similar initiative in football where grassroots supporters were like funneling their information, their feedback into a system. And it allowed some of these clubs to function better in a way that made sense for the football fans. So Sean is now trying his best to do something similar, but within the music industry. And I am for it. So if you have time, 10, 15 minutes, click on the link in the description. Right, let's get back into it, shall we?
Let's see.
So frequent and fervent viewers and listeners will attest that we do like a weird news story on the pod. We like to, we do a bit of me, a little bit of personal stuff, a little bit of politics, and then we try to find something upliftingly strange, weird, bizarre to round off with. Very much the and finally for this veritable bulletin for you. Tonight is no exception, guys. I found one earlier. It's popped up on The Guardian, actually. Check this one out. Brazil mayor faked gun attack for poll boost. Got shot and then lost the election anyway. All right. Let's peel this onion. So, as I said, this is on The Guardian. You can go and find it yourself now if you like. It says Brazil mayor was shot in fake attack for election boost, but still lost in landslide. I'll just read a bit to you here. As campaign strategies go, it was unorthodox and illegal. Just the tone. I'm here for the snark. I'm here for the snark in that tone. As campaign strategies go, it was unorthodox and illegal. Buy an AK-47, hire a pair of phony hitmen, and stage a fake assassination attempt against the mayor that would generate public sympathy and help him win a second term in power. That, Brazilian police claim, was the game plan last October when, on the eve of the local election, an armoured vehicle carrying José Aprígio de Silva came under fire in Taboão da Serra, a town on the outskirts of São Paulo. I mean, I'm invested in this. I hope you guys are. I hope you'll come on this journey with me. I have questions. I've got questions about this already. I have questions like how hated do you have to be to lose an election after that shit? Like everyone sees that you almost just got murdered, and they're like, yeah, we also didn't like it. Like, who won? Who won the election? Was it a hitman? Can you imagine that shit? Imagine that. Imagine the reflection you'd have to undertake if not only did you get shot and did you not win the election, but everybody voted for the person that tried to fucking kill you. It would be like, you'd need a period of reflection after that, I think. Anyway, it goes on. Silva, the town's re-election seeking mayor, was hit in the left shoulder and rushed to the intensive care unit of one of Brazil's top hospitals as relatives and allies denounced what they called a brazen attempt on his life. What they did was an atrocity. They went there to murder him, the politician's nephew told the local press. His nephew's speaking up for him. I mean, you see, this is what Kemi needs to seriously consider now. This is what you need to be doing, Kems. You need to go big, go bold. It worked for Trump, man. You know, I'm positive he probably had advisors talking him out of it. Like, they're never going to believe that you were shot in the air. They're going to see you like a week later, and your ear's going to be fine. You don't think they're going to figure it out? He's like, no, I've got a good feeling about it. He went ahead with it, and it was just like rows and rows of simpletons with their own fake ear bandages over their ears, in sympathy, in solidarity with him and his fake ear bandage over his not real. Anyway, so it worked for Trump. I mean, it is a bit risky, to be fair, insofar as a campaign strategy, a component of your campaign is concerned. There are risks to consider, you know? Like, if you hire a hitman, there is the risk that he might actually kill you. And there is, the knock-on effect, the knock-on risk that even if you die in the campaign by the hitman who you paid to just shoot you in the shoulder, but you actually ended up... There is the risk that the electorate also might not care. They still don't care. They still vote for the other guy. Oh, it's sad that guy got shot. Anyway, people are like, oh, I hate corruption. I hate corruption. I hate when politicians get assassinated. I hate when politicians get gunned down in the street and they die. Oh, I really hate that. More than high taxes? Oh, fuck no. Lord, no. Maybe with some lower taxes, he could have afforded a bulletproof vest. Is how I see things. Put my tick in the box. Still, guys. So there are risks. You could hire the hitman. He might shoot you. You might die. Nobody might care. You know, there is that risk that your electorate may view you and your death as my son would view mine. Me as the carrot, you know, that might be you with your electorate. Like, who the fuck am I to mock, you know, this guy in this story? Seriously. I mean, at least for this clown, you know, it's an attempted murder and it's just the electorate. It's just voters that don't love him. You know, who am I to mock him? At least with him, at least it sounds like his family were actually a bit upset about it. Like, sometimes I question, would my son even pause the fucking video game? Would he? Oh, man. Anyway, continues. It says, officials including Sao Paulo's right-wing governor, Tarcísio de Freitas, and the country's left-wing president, Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. These Brazilians, these Portuguese, man, they love the long names, don't they? They all weighed in with messages of outrage and support. This crime must be thoroughly investigated. Meanwhile, like, the actual guy is just, I don't know if we need to look too deeply into it. I just want to move on, to be honest. It says the crime must be thoroughly investigated and those responsible must receive exemplary punishment, Lula, the left-wing president, declared. It says, but this week, police officers said they believed the seemingly botched homicide was a fraud and launched a series of raids targeting suspected conspirators, codenamed Operation Hidden Fact. The supposed ambush on Silva's vehicle had, police told reporters, actually been a farce engineered by supporters of the 72-year-old mayor. They allegedly hoped the attack would cause an outpouring of sympathy and boost his campaign in the days before the vote. I mean, it does, like, I'm not saying Trump definitely faked that ear shooting, but it dumbfounds me that everybody's just ruling that out. Like, it's, you know, like, it's possible, isn't it? It is possible that he could orchestrate that. Am I insane for anyway? So they thought it was a thing in the closing days of the vote to court sympathy. Police said evidence gathered as a result of one plea bargain deal suggested Silva's allies had paid 500,000 reais, which is about 88 grand or 70,000 pounds, $88,000, for the duo of bogus shooters to launch their fake strike on his SUV. Wow. It says, it was the mayor himself who asked for them to shoot his car's windscreen. One unnamed witness reportedly told the police, although investigators admitted they didn't yet have conclusive evidence proving the mayor's involvement in the ruse. Okay. So lots of allegedlys, lots of, this is just the theory, the working theory at the moment. It says, if indeed this was the plan, though, it backfired badly. Silva failed to win re-election, with voters instead handing his rival, Daniel Plana Bogao. I'm sorry if that's his name. I'm sorry if he's listening. I don't know how to say that. It says, if indeed it was the plan, it backfired badly because Daniel Plana, we'll call him. We'll just stick with Plana. Daniel Plana got a landslide victory. I can't say I'm surprised because we were always sure that this was a setup, but I'm happy with the way that things have turned out, that guy, Daniel Plana, said. He says, I hope now justice is truly done. Yeah, well, I mean, I did say it was a weird one, didn't I? But the thing that always weirds me out about stories like this is, in fact, this is just going to have to be quick because I'm going to have to go back in and look after my kids. But the thing that weirds me out about stories like this is, like, not that this has happened, because I wouldn't put it past a lot of politicians to try to orchestrate something to court sympathy, right? Doesn't surprise me that this happens. What surprises me is that, like, this is just the one that we're hearing about. This is the one in Brazil of a guy, just a mayor, right? Not even like, particularly high-ranking national politician. He's just a mayor of a place, right? But it's like, I wonder how many times this has been done. I wonder how many times it happened that we didn't hear anything about it, and actually it just became the official narrative. This guy was shot, or somebody tried to kill this politician, and he survived. Isn't he such a fighter? A survivor? Like, I've always felt like the Tim Westwood thing was a setup. Like, who would go out of their way to kill Tim Westwood? Like, yes, he's annoying. Yes, he's a caricature of every white guy that ever fucking got into hip-hop. But do you want to kill him? Does anybody actually want to kill Tim Westwood? Well, probably, maybe they do now. Now that there's all of these allegations coming up, maybe there are a few people that want to kill him. Maybe it doesn't make, because it all dates back so long. Maybe it's all kind of tied together. Maybe he's a bad example. But you get my point. You get my point. Has there ever been a situation where somebody has orchestrated their own attempted assassination and then they fucking died? Like, that would make this a way funnier, like, weird news story. And it would be so on brand as well for this show. Disappointments, blinkness, finding the gallows humor and things. I would love it if there was a story. Well, not love it for the guy's family or whatever, but, it would be a pretty fucking funny story if there was like a gangster rapper from like 1997, right at the height of the Biggie and Tupac stuff, when rappers were getting shot in the street constantly. Which side are you on? Are you with Tupac? Are you with Biggie? Pow! Sell loads of records because you made a name for yourself because you were shot on the street in Vegas or something. Has there been a rapper who attempted to capitalize on his own attempted murder and fucked it up and ended up dying, and then remained nameless, like not even gotten famous, not become one of the great dead rappers? Because that would be, I would love to see that story. Please let me know if that's a thing. That should be like a comedy movie plot or something. Anyway, look, guys, I gotta go. I gotta run off. Thank you so much for continuing to show up, to pitch in, jump in on the live chat on the Friday nights, and indeed for doing the catch-ups on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on the Clips channel as well. I've been putting podcast clips up on the Clips channel the last few weeks, and that seems to be growing quite nicely too. So thank you very much, guys, for showing some love. I'll be back Friday night, obviously, for the Friday night live show. But I'll be back again tomorrow morning. That's Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning. Every morning, Monday to Friday, for the alternative paper reviews. So until then, keep it booch, keep it Bimfluencer, and we are out this motherfucker. Went a bit Bowie this week. See you later.